everyone coming out of spring training. As you can see what he's done in this ballpark, he's 0-1. Despite that, the ERA is way down. He has yet to give up a home run here. 12 strikeouts, 3 walks. And Chris Sale has to deal with a couple of guys who are awfully good on this A's team. Jed Lowry, for one, hitting .429 against him. Billy Butler, you might remember him from his time with the Kansas City Royals. He's hitting .357. So Chris Sale will have his work cut out for him. And it's Rich Hill going to the mound for Oakland. It should be a dandy.
Well, we are just about ready to kick off the 2016 baseball season, so sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
White Sox baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Discover more in a Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com or your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Audi. Truth in engineering. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV.
Welcome back to O.co Coliseum here in Oakland, where our Sox getting ready to take on the Oakland Athletics. And the Athletics thought they were going to be starting their #1 pitcher, their ace, Sonny Gray. But unfortunately for Sonny and Oakland, he's got food poisoning. And I talked with Bob Melvin. He says he'll most likely be back and starting tomorrow night. But Chris Sale has a worthy mound opponent, that being Rich Hill, as you look at Bob Melvin and Robin going over the ground rules. And they're listening to what Tom Hallion, the home plate umpire, has to tell them. So beautiful night for baseball, unlike some of the games that have already been postponed. Houston in the New York Yankees ballpark was postponed, as was Boston at Cleveland. So the Athletics take the field, and let's take a look at our Sox lineup tonight. Adam Eaton leading it off. Then it's Jimmy Rollins in the 2 spot, Jose Abreu, Todd Frazier, Melky Cabrera in left field with Avi Garcia, the designated hitter, then Brett Lawrie against the team he played for with Deanna Navarro, who's hit Hill very well, and Austin Jackson rounding it out. The defense and how Bob Melvin will throw them out there tonight. It's Chris Davis in left field, Billy Burns in center, and Josh Reddick, the fine throwing right fielder. Then it's Danny Valencia, Marcus Semien, Jed Lowry, and Mark Kenna, along with Stephen Voigt behind the plate and Rich Hill on the mound. Our Lexus pursuing starting pitcher is Rich Hill. You look at those numbers, and they're pretty good. Now, he had 4 starts with Boston. Those 4 starts where he was just overwhelming for Boston after his conversion from the bullpen. allowed him to sign a $6 million contract with Oakland. He's their number 2 starter, starting the first opener of his career. And he's got to face a team red hot coming out of spring training, and that's the Sox offense. The umpires for the game tonight: Tom Hallion behind the plate, Phil Cuzzy is at first, Dan Bellino at second, and Gabe Morales is at third. So Oakland hit the ball pretty well in the spring. They were 4th in the Cactus League offensively. They believe they're going to score some runs. The question for Oakland is the defense, number 1, and the starting rotation, areas that have been troublesome this spring. And so we're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner for the first time this year, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox Baseball. Right here on Comcast Sportsnet, opening day, and I don't know, Steve, they're all exciting, but they all seem a little different.
They are a little bit different, and because it's been 1975 before we started against Oakland.
And the first pitch hits him, so 1 pitch and 1 base runner.
First pitch,
Adam.
7:07.
Certainly good for the on-base percentage. And fortunately, he took off an area that had some padding, and that's the lead elbow. Not a bad way to get on base on the first pitch. And he's looking to see if everything is okay.
Well, you got to figure, even though Rich Hill, 36-year-old veteran, he's been around a long time, but you still got to figure that he's got a lot of butterflies in his stomach making this opening day start.
There's no doubt about that. And you would expect that we would see the problem being his control. And so far on 2 pitches, he hasn't come close.
Rollins hitting at .353 on the spring, 4 homers, 13 knocked in, and this guy could really make a big difference in this ball club this season. 37-year-old veteran who, in my opinion, is a future Hall of Famer. If you just check his numbers out, they're all there.
Well, when you consider the numbers he put up in Philadelphia all those years and the way he's played most of his career, you'll realize that he's got a good shot at the Hall of Fame.
He is the oldest starting shortstop since old aches and pains, luscious Luke Appling back in 1949. That ball hit hard into center field, but they got a man there. Billy Burns, he can scoop.
Pretty good battle at shortstop this spring. Tyler Saladino had a terrific spring. Jimmy Rollins had a terrific spring. So an enviable situation for the Sox. They chose Rollins to start. Saladino's going to get a lot of play.
Tyler Saladino is just a manager's delight. A blue plate special for managers because he can give you that flexibility and do a good job anywhere you're going to play him, and he's great in the clubhouse. Guys love him. So no negatives about Tyler Saladino.
No, he had a terrific spring, and he will play a big part in this team before it's over.
Breaking ball strike. The hook to Abreu. Jose, for the first time since he's been in the White Sox uniform, Steve, is going to have some protection behind him.
He's got to be pretty happy with Todd Frazier, the way he hit the ball this spring, and Abreu hit one of the fastest home runs out of this park I've ever seen.
And they got him. So caught stealing. 2 down.
Good move to first base by Rich Hill, and he caught Adam going on first move. Unfortunately, the first move was to first. Then it becomes a rather easy 1-3-6.
So the pitch way outside. Yeah, to do, just thinking about what Abreu did his first 2 years, being only the second player in history to hit 30 and driving 100. Albert Pujols being the other one, with absolutely no protection. It's just mind-boggling. That ball's hit hard but foul. Good friend of mine out in Seattle, Jeff Canatero, did some research on that and came up with Abreu in 2015 was the best worst pitch hitter in Major League Baseball because he had to be.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a run producer, you can't be taking pitches a couple inches outside. You got to hit the ball and produce some runs.
That's inside.
Jose knew, as being one of the few run producers on the club last year, his job was not to take walks. It was to drive them in. And he did a pretty good job of that.
That curveball high, and here at the Coliseum, 330 down the lines, 367 in short gaps, 388 in the deep gaps, and 400 straightaway center. And that got him. So a couple of hit batsmen right off the bat.
Rich Hill is a 4-pitch pitcher. His curveball's his best pitch. He has added a slider to his repertoire, and this was the slider. He tried to break it down and in, got too far in. So you hit a couple of guys in an inning. He's trying to wend his way out of it despite a lack of control.
Well, he's not trying to hit those guys.
No.
He's just nervous as he can be out there. So here's Todd Frazier. Hit 333 on the spring, 3 homers, knocked in 11. That curveball taken for a strike.
I know you hit in this ballpark. What do you think of it from a hitter's standpoint?
I loved it. I was one of the few guys that loved to hit here. Of course, they didn't have the seats out there in center field. It was just open where you could see the mountains in the background. But a lot of guys hated to hit it here, but for some reason, I just loved it.
Well, it's very, very lively in the daytime, and conversely, it's a little, well, dead in the evenings, especially from the power alleys over.
Trying to take that one in the right center field.
Hill was originally a draft pick of the Chicago Cubs, and after Washington released him, he played with the Long Island Ducks of the Independent Atlantic League before he got his shot with Boston.
As he made a good pitch. Had him chased it. Meanwhile, nothing across after a half inning of play. It's our guys, nothing, and their guys coming to bat.
How Oakland will set their starting lineup. Billy Burns to lead it off, and it's Jed Lowry, Josh Reddick, Danny Valencia, Chris Davis, along with Billy Butler, the DH, Mark Canha, Stephen Vogt, and Marcus Semien playing shortstop and rounding it out. The defense and how they'll line up behind Chris Sale, left to right. Melky Cabrera, Austin Jackson, and Adam Eaton in the outfield with Todd Frazier, Jimmy Rollins, Brett Lawrie, and Jose Abreu in the infield. Deanna Navarro getting the nod behind the plate tonight, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Chris Sale. Sale last year, 13-11, should have been a whole lot better than that. His ERA a bit up there, and remember, last year he didn't have a spring training, so early in the season for him was his spring training. But 274 strikeouts and 208 innings, and that's astonishing.
Switch hitter, center fielder Billy Burns. Hit .333 on the spring. To keep him off, he had 26 stolen bases last year. His first pitch swinging on that fastball upstairs. Last year, Burns at .294, 5 homers and 42 driven in. So Coco Crisp, once again, who has always been a Sox killer, is relegated to being a part-time player.
Yeah, they're really concerned about the health of Coco Crisp because he's had a neck injury. He still is plagued by it, and getting him on the field is going to be a task for them. When Coco is healthy, he can be a dominant player, but he's been so banged up as a member of Oakland that it's been difficult. Last year he played 27 at bats in 7 games.
A's last year with a record of 68 and 94.
What really did it for the A's last year was the defense was spotty and the bullpen was atrocious. They were 19 and 35 in one-run games. And for this organization, which usually prided itself on the speed, the defense, and everything that went with it, last year was an aberration.
That breaking ball may have broken his bat. We'll check it out and see. Says it's all right. Well, they just didn't have a whole bunch of talent. It's just that simple.
Nope. Well, they made 9 trades the year before and pretty much gutted the organization.
There's a little shank in the right field. Meanwhile, 1 out.
Well positioned defensively as Adam Eaton was well in right field for a guy that doesn't have a whole lot of power, certainly not opposite field power.
Positioning is going to be something, and has been something this spring, that they have worked on. And that is critical. I'm talking about shifts on the right people, positioning on the right hitters. Yes, there's ball 1-2. Another switch hitter, Jed Lowry. He's a .257 career hitter in the major leagues. The last year, for the most part, our defense was static in the outfield. They played everybody just about the same.
No, I think the addition of Austin Jackson is going to do wonders for this defense because he can go get them alley to alley.
And that's foul.
And you and I were talking about it, and one of the big additions is Rick Renteria. Because number one, he really knows his baseball. Number two, he's helped the coaching staff and he's explained to them about positioning and helped them to position the players. And what an addition to this team he is, in addition to the organization. That is a very solid baseball man. You take a look at Herm Schneider, who's in your picture. He's in the middle. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Herm.
Well, I'm glad you told me, because that means I get a free shot at it.
Go down there and give him a whack after the game.
Dr. Payne, he's given me enough. He used to love to give me those cortisone shots, man. His face would just light up and smile when I walked in that room. He gone. Gas. 2 down.
The high heat as Chris reaches back, gets a very lively fastball by a guy who's hit him very well, but Lowry goes down.
So here's Reddick. 20 homers last year, knocked in 77. After getting off to a slow start as they've got the shift on him.
I think we're going to see the Sox defense shift a lot more this year in the infield, and especially, you mentioned it, in the outfield.
There's no question about it. Gap out there in right center. That ball's hit sharply. Williams got it. And that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning for our Chris Sale. And after one, there's no score. Coliseum in Oakland, California, where there's no score. And we're going to go our picks to click a little bit later, but right now our pick to click is Dan Hayes from CSNChicago.com. What you got for us, Danny, my boy?
Well, welcome and happy opening day to you, Hawk and Steve. Yesterday, the White Sox signed Miguel Gonzalez to a minor league deal. It's one of the few areas where they kind of felt like they needed some more depth. Obviously, he's a pitcher. Reporting to AAA, he was released by the Baltimore Orioles last week. Rick Hahn talked a little bit about it today. The deal does not include an opt-out.
Well, from what we've seen of him, you know, if he's healthy, he's going to be a nice addition for depth.
Yeah, from 2014, he was 30-21 with a 3.45 ERA.
As I say, you've got a guy that's over 500 lifetime in the major leagues. You don't find too many of those, and it's kind of surprising that Baltimore, with the pitching problems that they've had, would let him go, but that's to the Sox benefit.
There were some reports early on in camp of his velocity was down, and the White Sox did see that. Rick Hahn said that, but they got stronger as camp went on. Their scouts saw better velocity towards the end of camp. Obviously, he was released, but they were quick to jump on him, and they were one of the most aggressive, if not the most aggressive, to get him.
Melky, ground ball to Lower. So that's out number. I saw it on my iPad where they released him, and I was shocked. First thing that popped in my mind, he's got to be hurt.
That would seem to be a reasonable assumption, but apparently throwing the ball pretty well, and a great insurance policy for the Sox.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah, it is.
That's what it's about.
And this is definitely something where Matt Latos, they know with 2 years of injuries, potentially they don't know what they're going to get just yet. He hasn't gotten through the 5th inning in any of his 3 starts in the Cactus League, and so this is kind of insurance against that for sure.
Well, what it is also, Danny, is a compliment to Don Cooper, because, you know, there's some pitching coaches, as there are some hitting coaches, that they will tell, hey, yeah, give me that guy if you can. I can help him. And if you got a coach of that ilk, so to speak, that's a huge, huge benefit. Here's a man who had a good spring. Ivy. Last year, 13 homers, 59 knocked in. On the spring, hit .361, 5 homers, and led the team with 19 ribbies.
Todd Stevenson gave him a new hand position. They're a little lower. He says it's easier for him to stay back these days, and hopefully he can emulate what he did in the spring. He was a force.
Well, if you take a look at what happened last year, the sequence of events, this club coming out of spring training with the highest expectations that we have had on a club like the White Sox in a long time, okay? Well, it didn't work out, obviously. So here you got a young man coming off a labrum operation there in 14. Nobody was hitting the ball. Put him in a spot where he tried to hit it, because there's a breaking ball, can't get it. And it was Murphy's Law. He just kept digging that hole deeper and deeper. There's 4 quadrants, up and in, up and away, down and in, down and away. And he had trouble with all 4 quadrants last year.
So we didn't see it much in the spring, and hopefully we won't see it now. That was a good curveball by Hill on the last pitch.
Just got a piece of it. Yeah, with young hitters, you got to try to take away. If they're having trouble with all four, you got to take away at least one, and hopefully two. Outfield, slightly to the right. What else did you see this spring that you like, Manny? How about the attitude?
Attitude was there every day. I think we saw it a lot where it was just a loud clubhouse. Guys routinely talked about having to talk up over the music, over everybody having a good time, but yet staying focused on their work. And they talked about that a lot, just in their backfield drills, keeping themselves busy and yet quality work being produced.
Got him upstairs, 2 down. Well, I know from afar, reading your stuff, Scott Markin, all the writers' stuff, going over the stuff on my iPad, I felt like I was actually there. The only thing I really missed was not being able to go back on the backfields and see our young kids play, which I spend a lot of time every spring back here, as you know. But the thing that just kept jumping out to me from reading about it and watching it on my iPad, watching the games, was indeed the chemistry and the attitude.
A lot of the young guys talked about that. Chris Sale talked about that. Adam Eaton, how they love the veterans that have been brought in, just because, you know, there's that one wall that's pretty experienced in the clubhouse, and now it's extended out with so many guys, and they really like the attitude that's been brought in. Alex Avila talked about the belief being there every day. Todd Frazier talked about how they've really put some quality work together. They're been very fundamental on the defensive side.
Curveball strike. And when you talk about energy, this guy right here is going to bring it each and every day. Sox fans know I used to love to watch this guy when he was with Toronto and Oakland. Now Hill's there right where he should be, so that's a nice easy 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much, Danny Hayes. And you can follow White Sox Insider Dan Hayes all season long on CSNChicago.com. See us in Chicago for 2016's first taping of Beer Money, the trivia show that tests your sports knowledge in exchange for cash. Taping starts next Tuesday, April 12th at 5:30 at Pinheads in Yorkville. Beer Money, presented by Coors Light.
Danny Valencia going to lead it off, and Valencia came in to last season with a reputation, as he always has, of hitting left-handers very well. Last season, getting an opportunity with Oakland, he hit right-handers pretty well also. So he's going to get a shot every day to fulfill the promise that he had when he came up with the Minnesota Twins.
He's a .267 career hitter. That fastball up and in.
Valencia's got some pretty big power.
Well, you know, in today's game, there are not too many guys that don't have good power. As opposed to when you and I played, especially me, usually had a couple of guys on each team with good power. Now there's 7 or 8. But, we just had Dan Hayes, and of course that was presented by The Great Escape. Pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, and more. Escape your everyday. Shop The Great Escape.
Here's one of the better additions to the ball club. They were able to get Chris Davis from the Milwaukee Brewers. Davis, despite being a relatively small guy, has some very big power. There you see the numbers: 27 home runs, 66 driven in.
Big power.
He can hit it out of anywhere.
That one he hit against us in Milwaukee, I mean, that was a jaunt. Chris on the spring hit 300. Check that. 314 he hit.
Oakland hit the ball very well. Their starting rotation, however, had almost a 7-point ERA. That's really cause for concern for Bob Melvin.
Bobby Melvin, probably one of the most underrated managers in the game, without question.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. He is very good, and he's got a new bench coach, Mark Kotsay. And you saw Mark in the shot with Bob Melvin. There's a look at Mark Kotsay, longtime major league player, good left-hand hitter. Bob Melvin, a former catcher.
Kotsay, a smart player.
Yes, he was.
Here you go. Two strikeouts now for Chris.
This one he throws down and in, despite the fact that Navarro wanted it away. Chris held onto it a little bit longer, equally as effective.
Well, that pitch that he right there is, for a right-handed hitter, unhittable. Now, if you do hit it, you're probably going to get a shin burger.
Here's one of the guys that has done well against Chris Sale, and I asked Billy Butler before the game, what is it that allows you to hit Sale well?
That's in the center field, but we got a good one out there.
We'll talk about it when we come back.
1, 2, 3 innings, 6 up, 6 down for Sale.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours, as Deanna Navarro will lead it off. Deanna, 300 in the spring with a homer and 4 knocked in. Turns it over, a little sinking action.
Navarro's been successful against Hill. He's faced him 3 times with a couple of hits. Not many of our guys have seen a whole lot of Rich Hill, and so the first time through the order, much to his advantage.
Well, he's the kind of left-hander that gives us trouble. He's not overpowered. He's got a little better than average curveball, and when he spots it, and he's not hitting guys like he did in the first inning,
Well,
which he was not trying to do if you're just tuning in.
He's also hung a few pitches up in the zone, getting away with it.
He will make some mistakes.
One to Garcia, and that one to Navarro.
Slowly hit. Valencia's got him. Right now, let's check our first picks to click of 2016. Jumanji, our director and crew, they went with Rollins. Steve's going with Brett Laurie and Jeff Shearer, J.J. Shearer, and David Novak and I. We're going to go with Deanna Navarro.
We've all been very successful the first time through. So let's hope to pick it up somewhat. Hill had some problems with his control in spring training. He only had 12 actually 8-ball innings. He was mostly thrown on the backfield, and that was because he walked 15 guys in 12 innings. They wanted him to try to get his control, didn't want a whole lot of people to get a look at him. So as one of the Oakland members said, he won the Cy Young Award on the backfields in spring.
Well, you know, a lot of guys, a lot of veteran pitchers don't like to pitch on those backfields against those minor league players.
No, I know they can bomb you.
That's up high, Austin. 273 career hitter. Made a nice catch on that line drive off the bat of Billy Butler. And there's the 1-out walk. I said it 3 years ago, one of the Tigers, that in my opinion, I thought Austin Jackson was one of the big keys for the Tigers because of that huge center field that he had to cover out there at Comerica Park. He had to cover center, right center, and left center. And what that did was it gave the right fielder and left fielder, which at that time, where they were not sterling defenders out there, it gave them, they didn't have to move around too much.
Now that's why the Tigers made the deal. They sent Curtis Granderson to the Yankees because he's a dead pull hitter in that ballpark. He was terrific. And they sent Austin Jackson to Detroit because Jackson was a burner, and in center field you have to have a burner in Detroit. So both teams very happy with that deal.
Adam was hit on the first pitch of the ball game.
Joe McEwing is going to run on Chris Davis, the left fielder, every chance he gets. Billy Burns, the center fielder, has an adequate arm, the best arm by far. Josh Reddick in right field. He's also very accurate.
That's thrown away. That's the third base shot right there. So he will pull up. And with 1 out, we got a man on third.
Hill tried to flip that ball sidearm, and it just completely got away from Canna. He had no chance on this. So Austin coast into third base. And now it forces the infield in at all 4 positions. A great place for Adam Eaton to hit.
Breaking ball. Adam didn't like that one. And don't blame him. outfield, slightly to the left, spread out. And that'll get the job done. He got a mistake right there from Hill. Oh boy, what a bad read right there by Burns. So Adam on his way to third, and he's going to get there as Jackson scores, and it's a 1-0 Sox lead.
That one certainly surprised Burns, who's got very good speed, but he just doesn't judge this ball as Eaton gets a good piece of it.
Now batting.
It's a sidearm curveball that doesn't do a lot of curving.
Rollins.
And Burns didn't realize it was going to be hit near with authority as it was hit.
Well, if you recall last year, a lot of outfielders was fooled on balls hit by Adam Eaton like that.
Boy, he was the second leading home run hitter on the team. Hopefully that won't happen this year.
Well, if it is, we're in trouble.
That's what happened last year. But Adam put a charge into it, and the first run of the year goes to the Sox.
So Rollins, who flied medium deep to center field his first trip, takes it, and that evens the count at 1. You can cancel a post-game show, first hit of the ball game. Breaking ball, good pitch to hit. He was just a little too quick. What a resume 37-year-old veteran Jimmy Rollins has. It is really impressive. Another breaking ball, that one a little deeper. He's only one of 3 players in Major League history with 500 career doubles, 100 triples, 200 or more home runs, 400 or more stolen bases. And the other 2 were Johnny Damon and Paul Molitor. There's a little Kansas City special, yes. So Adam will score, and it is 2-0 Sox.
This one looped into right field. Reddick
Number 79, Jose
playing probably not
Abreu.
as shallow as he should have played in that situation, but taking advantage of a generous Rich Hill in both his control and his throwing to first base has led to 2 runs.
Here's Jose. He was hit by a breaking ball.
Almost hit again.
Pretty obvious what they want to try to do with him. At least in his first 2 at-bats.
Yeah. Simeon with good range at shortstop. Lowry, good hands, but not much range at second.
You know, I had an occasion this winter having dinner, and a couple of guys came over and introduced themselves. One of them had a Kansas City hat on. This is Hawk. That's how to play right side. We really enjoy your podcasting, but we really don't appreciate it when you call a cheap hit a Kansas City special. I said, I looked at them both and I said, well, do you know that that is a compliment? I'm paying them a compliment because I wish we could incorporate that into our offense.
Yeah, they don't walk.
They don't strike out.
They just make contact.
They struck out over 200 fewer times than any team in baseball last year.
Putting the ball in play with some of the speed that they have, I mean, that just devastates you.
And Jimmy Rollins just with 2 strikes, just firing it out there in the right field. That ball hit hard. We'll see how Davis plays. He plays it perfectly. Now they're going to have to hold Rollins at third on the double by Abreu. Boy, he got another cookie right there. He didn't miss that one.
Jose crushes this one, and Rich Hill is having some problems. That was supposed to be a slider in. He didn't get it there.
Well, you said earlier he was going to be making some mistakes.
And this time through, guys taking advantage of it as a one-hop rocket against the wall. Davis able to get it back in quickly, and that's going to necessitate Kurt Young going to the mound. He wants a word with Rich Hill. And the bullpen up and going for the first time. Rodriguez. Fernando Rodriguez throwing in the pen.
Don't stop now, boys.
Now batting, number 21, Todd Frazier.
Ducks on the pond, 1 out, and the infield coming in.
Somewhat surprising, but Lowry looked in the dugout and they motioned him in.
Right there, he got a roller. Couldn't do anything with it. Todd last year, 35 homers. Takes that fastball on the inside corner, about just underneath the letters. So now he's got to make that 0-2 adjustment.
Got that fastball inside, and Todd was able to fight it off and spoil it.
Well, it looks to me like Hill, if you're just tuning in, did not hear, Sonny Gray was supposed to start. He had food poisoning, so Rich Hill, last thing in his mind coming to the ballpark was he's going to start opening day. And I just think he's overthrowing everything. He's trying to he's only thrown a couple singles.
No, and the curveball is not even close to what it usually is. So when that's not working for him, really he's very vulnerable because he's not overpowering these days. He came up with a pretty decent fastball, but there's been a lot of wear and tear on that arm since he was a first-round draft pick with the Cubs.
There's a roller, and that's just foul.
One thing here that hitters don't particularly like is an abundance of foul territory. And this one sliced down the line. Gabe Morales on the call, and you can see foul by about 1.5 feet.
He has cut down on his swing a little bit, just trying to fight it off. For you young hitters out there, you cannot take the same swing on 0-2 as you take on 2-0. And we have seen in evidence that on our club for the last couple of years. Pops it up. Well, first roll for you.
I don't think any place else in the major leagues comes close to the amount of foul territory there is in this ballpark.
Well, it certainly behooves the A's, playing 81 games here. They have good range at first and third.
Well, they've got a pretty good first baseman who's going to play most all the time. That's Yonder Alonso. But against the left-hand starters, we get Mark Canha playing first.
Well, he got a couple of good pitches to hit, couldn't do anything with it, so that is 2 down.
After a couple of breaking balls, he goes to a high slider. Not where he wants to throw it, but he got away with it.
So here's Melky. Grounded out. Jed Lowry at second. Back up the middle. Ball stays down. Nice play. Double pump. And the ball gets away. Here comes Abreu. He's going to score. And it's a 4-0 Sox lead. Yes.
That looked like it sailed on Marcus Semien, who had a tough first half last year air-wise, and we'll have to see if that's on him or if it's on Canna. This could be one of the bigger plays of the game. Melky takes it right back up the middle, but Marcus Semien is right there. So he's got some time, and he just floats it. Canna can't corral it.
Yeah, well, the ball getting away caused one. He was going to be safe at first because his foot was off the bag anyway, but now the extra tally. So 2 errors. 2 errors this inning, and Bob Melvin is going to make a change. Rich Hill, a late starter for Sonny Gray, departs, and we'll be back.
And for just $59, fans can attend all 16 Monday through Friday home games in April and May, beginning with the April 18th game against the Angels. Visit whitesox.com/ballpark pass for more information. And we've got a new pitcher. He's a big, hard-throwing right-hander. Fernando Rodriguez, who last year was 4-2 with a 3.84 ERA in 56 games with Oakland.
Boy, he's got a bit of a funky delivery right there. He got it up there in a hurry.
He throws hard, and Bob Melvin certainly did not want to go to his bullpen, a completely revamped bullpen, this early in the game.
Well, the first rule in the game of baseball is not pitching, it's not hitting. You got to catch the baseball. That's the first rule of the game. And as you touched on earlier, last year the A's defense was very porous.
That's it. And Mark Canna, the first baseman, got charged with that error. There's not one player in that bullpen who was on the opening day roster last year. Sean Doolittle, the closer, was on the disabled list to start the season, but the whole bullpen has been revamped.
There's a bullet. That a boy, Avi. Well, you framed that perfectly. Usually when you say retooled, that means that they still could be pretty decent. But when you say revamped, there's a good chance they're not going to be.
Now that was pretty good at bat because that was a slider, and Avi, who generally has some problems with breaking pitches, especially behind in the count, that time stayed right with it, drove it through the left side. That was a very impressive at bat.
So here's Laurie. Bounced out 3-1.
In your picture there, you see the 42 and the 2 on the back of the mound. There was a moment of silence before the game for a couple of Oakland former players who passed away. Dave Henderson, number 42, Tony Phillips, number 2. Both very good guys, both very good players.
Two terrific guys.
Yeah, Henderson passed away last year, and Tony Phillips this spring.
I knew Hendu pretty well, but I really knew Tony very well. And I loved Tony Phillips. I loved the way he played. He brought it to the ballpark every day. Just about as intense and competitive as any player who's ever put a jockstrap on.
How long was he with the Sox? I know he was with
Just
Oakland for a long time.
But he left an impression. I mean, I don't care who you were, how big you were, or how many of them you were. He'd get right in your face.
So Chris Kampka informs us it was 96 and 97 with the Sox.
Yeah, Tony was something. Too young, 57 years old. Took that pitch nicely. Ball clubs need guys like Tony Phillips. That makes it easier on the manager. You didn't loaf if you were on Tony Phillips' team. Two on, two out. 3-2 the count. Gets him, but some damage is done. 4 across the plate. 2 unearned. We'll take them. It is 4-0. Good guys.
Get a free season-long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now and catch every moment on America's fastest-growing LTE network.
Batting in the 7th position, first baseman, number 20.
Bottom of the 3rd inning and a 4-0 Sox lead. Canna, Vogt, and Simeon to face Chris Sale. Chris, if you're just tuning in, has retired the first 6 he has seen, coupled by punchouts. First pitch strike. Mark hit 178 in the spring last, well, for his career. He's hit a few home runs. Little back door, that's unhittable.
I think Chris Sale is absolutely ecstatic. He got 4 early runs. Something I think the entire pitching staff is going to see a whole lot of this year.
Well, if there's one thing for sure, we're going to catch the ball better than we did last year. Here you go.
One of the most important positions, if you've got 4 left-hand starters, and the Sox do, you have to have a good defender at third base because of sliders and cutters inside to the right-hand hitters. And if you don't have a good third baseman, you're going to have some big problems, as we saw last year. So just the presence of Todd Frazier, regardless of what he hits, his presence defensively and in the clubhouse is going to be a big improvement.
This is one of the fan favorites here. Vogt, the catcher. Last year hit 18 homers and drove in 71.
He's a good catcher, and the fact that he is playing against a left-hander shows you just what Bob Melvin thinks about him.
Yeah, because Josh last year had a decent season for Oakland. Josh Begley. Got to hurry way back out there, and they can't get it. That is the first hit.
Vogt's not going to get too many infield hits, but you have to figure that he's got some power. So you've got to play a pull hitter as far back as he was, and then couldn't get to it.
Well, he was in perfect position. That's just one of those Kansas City specials.
Make some contact, good things have a chance to happen.
Here's Marcus. Last year, 257, 15 homers, 45 knocked in, but he finished up strong. He really struggled defensively for him. And then he got that smoothed out, as I understand it, by Ron Washington. And after they did that, he started swinging the bat extremely well.
Yeah, I talked to Wash about that, and he talked about a quick arm on his throws and keeping a wider stance when he delivers, because he was making some off-balance throws, have a tendency to get under it. Wash is a big believer in a fast arm, regardless of how quickly you get it over there, and he wants the stance to be wider. It seemed to work well with Simeon, because heading into the All-Star break, it looked like he was going to set an all-time record for errors, but I think he made 8 after the All-Star break last year.
He's a fine young man. Wish him nothing but the best. He and Josh both. He did not go.
Chris not throwing the slider or changeup a whole lot in the early going. He's had success with the fastball, and he's thrown it, as you can see, 85% of the time. Sox fans, opening day is Friday, April 8th at 3:10 versus the Indians. All fans ages 21 and over will receive a 2016 White Sox magnetic schedule presented by Miller Lite. The original Light Pilsner, an official beer of your Chicago White Sox. Purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Here's Billy Burns, the center fielder. Hit a little loop right into right field that Adam Eaton came on and made a nice, easy play out of.
Chris wants to settle himself down for the simple reason that he was in a windup until the vote hit. And then having to move to the stretch for the first time, he walked Semien.
Now is that back? And I want to take a moment here to congratulate my counterpart who will be doing the home games this year, Jason Benetti, on a terrific break-in. Jason, a terrific spring, buddy. It was really enjoyable, and Sox fans are going to enjoy Jason Benetti for a very long time. He's a keeper.
Well, a Chicago area product, broadcasting for the team he grew up rooting for, is something that you very rarely will get a chance to do. Most guys never get a chance to do it. He's doing it in his first major league gig, and that has to be exciting.
I think we were all excited for him.
Yes, sir.
Rollins takes his time, makes the play. 2 down.
Now batting, second baseman, number 8, Jed Lowry.
So here's Lowry. He struck out swinging on a fastball his first trip.
Biggest at bat of the game so far, because Lowry has always had luck against Chris Sale. And if you can turn him away with no runs, it's going to be a very, very strong inning for Chris.
Well, that's what those little swinging bunts, so to speak, do. They put pressure, heat pressure, and that leads to, here's the throw, that leads to 2 runs. So it's a 4-2 ball game. When you put the ball in play, you got a shot. When you strike out, grab some finish.
Well, the man he's always had problems with, the man with the highest batting average against Chris Sale, gets a high fastball, takes it the other way, and drops it in front of Eaton. And no chance to get Marcus Semien, who's in well ahead of the throw-in. So they cut the lead in half.
Well, Kansas City has employed an offense like that for the last 2 years, and for the last 2 years they have come within 1 out of winning 2 world championships.
It fits very well in their ballpark.
Ready? Hit the ball sharply down to Abreu. Made a nice play on it. Toss to Sale to get it. And that breaking ball up the middle. Not hit hard, but finds the hole.
That's a slider that stayed up just past the diving Jimmy Rollins.
Third baseman, number 26, Danny Valencia.
And here comes Don Cooper for his first trip to the mound this year. Now Tom Hallion is going to come out and want to break this up. So Don Cooper has had his say, and they'll get back to business.
So here's Valencia with 2 in, 2 out, 2 on. Little back door right on the outside edge. Very quickly to count, 0-2. Navarro keeps it in front of him. Valencia made a good pass at that one. Fastball up just on top of the zone. And if right-handed hitters try to pull Chris Sale, they're nuts. You got to try to beat him as a right-handed hitter to right center. First of all, you're going to see the ball a few inches further. If it's a cookie or a hanger, that's a different story. That's back through the middle. Austin Jackson couldn't come up with it, so that'll be an error on him. And it's a 4-3 ball game.
Looked like it was going to be a fairly close play at the plate as Chris leaves one out over the plate. Valencia takes it right back up the middle. And when Austin missed it, runners at the corners, still 2 outs.
And here is Chris Davis. Takes first pitch strike in 96. At that breaking ball.
Fortunately, he had him well out in front as Davis was trying to hit it into the bay.
Which he's almost capable of doing. Little guy, and he can absolutely just unload on it.
Aired it out in that swing. The helmet went flying off as he fouled it back. Leaving nothing to the imagination. He doesn't have that 2-strike short swing. He has, I'm going to hit it out of the park on every swing.
Right. 27 homers last year. Out in front. Fouls it back. For the most part, if you're just joining us, Chris has been fastball and a hard breaking ball. Hard.
That's a lot of work this inning. 31 pitches. Pitch number 57 on the way.
Just off the plate.
He certainly wanted this one, but just missed. Tom Helling with a pretty good call.
That one in 97 just reached back and aired it out for a full count.
Certainly don't want to get to Billy Butler, another one of those guys who have hit Chris well. There's only two of them, Lowry and Butler.
He gone. But they come up with 3. And we lead it by 1. And a reminder, tomorrow, with only 3 games left before the playoffs, our Blackhawks look to build momentum as they take on the Coyotes. Coverage starts at 7 with Chevy Blackhawks pregame live on CSN Chicago.
Here's a couple of familiar faces. Rick Hahn, the general manager on the left. Scott Reifert on the right, in charge of just about everything else.
He has been here a long time and does an absolute wonderful job. With Scott Reifert. Everybody relies on him. There's Navarro. He grounded out to third. One out. I wore my Blackhawk hat to the workout yesterday, and a lot of our players really loved it.
Well, that's an exciting team, and hopefully they get things together, because this is usually when they start to really heat it up.
Well, they are an unusual team in that respect. They're one of the few that, well, when it comes playoff time, whew, they come together as a unit. That Duncan Keith last year was just unbelievable. I mean, that was unbelievable.
Yep.
The stamina. Breaking ball. Could have gone either way. It goes Austin's way. He walked and scored.
Scott Reifert's whole title is Senior Vice President of Communications.
Three and one to count.
There's a look at Scott. They've got pretty good seats.
High pop up. Cannon. 2 down. You ever play golf with Scott?
I haven't.
He doesn't get a chance to play that much, but when he does, I'll tell you, he plays left-handed.
I was going to say left-handed. I know that.
Yeah, he can hit it. So here is Adam Eaton. Guys in his position don't have a chance to play much golf.
No, if you do have a chance to play much golf, you're not in that position.
Or
you won't keep it
Are you
long.
winning world championships each and every season?
Yeah, well, that would be nice.
Adam hit by a pitcher on the first pitch of the ball game, then he triples on a fly ball in the deep center field that Billy Burns just completely misread.
On the last 2-0 pitch, it was kind of interesting. The guys at the corners, Valencia at third and Canna at first, moved back a step or so, thinking that ahead in the count, Adam Eaton's not going to be thinking about a bunt.
Adam Eaton.
It's 3-1.
Rodriguez is getting it up there, 94, 95 miles an hour, so that's a pretty good arm out of the pen. And that pen is going to get up and going again.
It's full. Well, there's a good chance that pen this season is going to get a lot of work.
Yeah, they're very concerned about the starting rotation when Sonny Gray is not the man on the mound.
Marcus. That's a nice 1-2-3 inning. And we still lead at 4-3. It's a 4-3 Sox lead here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And we'd like to welcome White Sox fans in the Des Moines, Ames, Iowa viewing area watching on DirecTV. Des Moines, Ames, Iowa, yes. They got my money in Des Moines. Quite a bit of it, as a matter of fact. Billy Butler. Hit a low line drive into center field that Austin Jackson read perfectly, came on and made a nice play. Watching Billy take BP this afternoon. Boy, he was really in sync. That big leg kick creating some hang time. Said he feels great. That's down into the corner, so that's going to be a double.
Didn't have a chance to explain it last time up, but when I talked to Billy about why he has success against Chris Sale, he said because he makes him throw strikes. He said Chris Sale will get everybody out consistently with that slider down and out of the strike zone. He said although it's difficult, he tries to lay off it and make him come in the strike zone with anything breaking. And for Butler at least, it works pretty well.
Well, the reason he got that was one, it was in on the fist on it. And the reason he got that in play and kept it in play was because he's not looking to pull on it. He's looking to take him into right center, and all of a sudden now he gets it. If you're looking to pull on him, you hit it hard, but you hit it down in that bullpen area. Foul.
He's always been a guy that will wait back and hit the ball to right center field.
Canna struck out his first trip.
You would think he would be trying at least to hit the ball to the right side. His job this time, however he can do it, is get Butler to third.
Well, he wasn't on us, Wayne.
Nope.
Here's where you can create your own strike zone in that area. You got one of the toughest left-handed pitchers in the game out there with great stuff, and you got to back off the plate. You got to take that slider down and in or inside away from him, and that way you're able to maybe move the ball much easier to the right side. This is just, it's good for us. It's bad for Oakland. This has just been a bad at bat so far.
Yeah, he hasn't
even tried.
Nope, they hadn't made an attempt to hit the ball to the right side. As Chris is trying to do everything, if he has any contact, he's trying to make sure that it's inside, as you can see by pitch tracks.
That's why you got to back off the plate. You can't let a guy get you out inside in this situation. Be gone. Five strikeouts now for Chris.
Oh, that's a big strikeout, a backdoor slider. And it just locks up Canna.
So here's a man that started off at 3-run third with a 1-out, little swinging bunt. Lowry was playing him deep out there. And there's a breaking ball strike. Right size, wrong shape.
Rolling breaking ball, yanked well foul. See the fingernails of Stephen Vogt polished so that the A's pitchers can see it better, and that breaking ball just hung on the inside part of the plate. Chris Sale breathing a sigh of relief.
As he should. Yeah, when you roll one up there like that and it stays in the park, fair. Whew. Two down.
Big sweeping slider. And this is a perfect place for it with two strikes. Out of the zone, away, and Vogt goes down.
Well, what changed the whole dynamic of Vogt's at bat was the at bat by Canna.
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, he's hitting with the infield in if Canna gets a runner over.
Changes the whole dynamic. So here's Simeon. Marcus walked and scored. Takes a strike. 0-2.
So far, a couple of pitches down. Deanna has done a good job of making sure that the ball doesn't get by him.
Well, I like it because they were all speed pitches down, not the fastball. He went first 2 2/3 innings. That's hard.
No, normally you're not going to see Chris Sale at 85% fastballs. You're going to see him mix in the straight change with the slider, especially on wipeout pitches. And this inning, after the leadoff double, Chris has made some great pitches.
Lowry's got him, and that'll retire the side, so he pitches over that leadoff double by Billy Butler, and we're into the 5th, winning 4-3.
Season flex plans today. The Pick 7 and Pick 14 plans feature savings off individual game tickets. For tickets or more information, visit whitesox.com or call 312-674-1000. And Ryan Dull comes into the game. There you look at the numbers from last year. He had an opportunity to save 2 games, was successful 1 time. 16 strikeouts in 17 innings.
Jimmy Rollins 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. Takes first pitch strike from the 26-year-old right-hander out of North Carolina. Oh and 2. First of 4. Tomorrow's game will be over WGN. Saturday and Sundays right back here on Comcast Sportsnet. We come home after Sunday's game and then open up with Cleveland.
Cleveland without Michael Brantley, which for them is a huge loss. He's disabled and they don't know when he's going to be back from that surgically repaired shoulder, which was done in the offseason, but still giving him some problems.
Out number 1. Well, if they don't have him, they've got good pitching.
Yep.
But if they don't have him, their offense is going to be, I mean, way below par.
Now batting, Number 79.
Yeah, he's one of their leaders.
Abreu.
And the guy that hits in the middle of their order, you take a left-hander out of the middle of the order, especially a guy with the talent of Brantley, that is a huge loss.
First pitch strike to Abreu was hit by a pitch, breaking ball. And then he doubled and scored in the third. All 7 runs in this game were scored in the third inning if you're just tuning in.
Dull out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Didn't have a particularly good run at it in college. Was 10 under 500. But apparently his senior year, he found it with a great walk-to-strikeout ratio. And apparently a pretty impressive slider.
Well, a lot of those youngsters with good arms never make it. And one of the reasons they don't make it is because they're not fortunate enough to get with a good pitching coach if they sign to go pro.
Well, Kurt Young is a pretty good one. He's been around a while. His second tour of duty with Oakland.
Most of the time I'm talking about guys who go start off with the minor league, with the minor league level. They might have, and then if they're fortunate enough to have a good one, all of a sudden they can turn the light switch on and maybe give them a pitch, or split, slider, change, whatever, and get them going.
Well, Dull's slider is pretty good. Oakland playing Todd is pretty much a pull hitter.
Two and one to count. Todd's had a couple of pretty good pitches to hit tonight. Swung and missed one and fouled the other off.
That was a real good one to hit. Just couldn't pull the trigger on it. Fouled it off. Fouled it right off Vogt, who is still feeling the effects of it.
You should.
Yep, he should. And Tom Hallion giving him a chance to regroup. The life of a catcher.
Chops that one foul. As we talked about in the opening, just you and I have been so privileged to have played and been around baseball for this many opening days.
That's for sure.
I mean, what an honor and a privilege it has been.
Well, it still stays very exciting. We're going to see 3 opening days this year. Besides ours, we're also going to see the Twins opening day.
Oh, just underneath that one. Ryan Dull with a 1-2-3 inning. We're halfway home, and we lead it by 1. Chris, nice play. Had to barehand it.
When he really had to hurry with Burns going up the line. Great play, because if Burns gets on representing the tying run, he's going to be tough to stop. Nice pick by Jose on the other end. And they record the first out.
And he gave him a big target to throw to. Breaking ball strike to Lowry. You had a big 2-run single, and he scored back in the 3rd inning. Close pitch, didn't get it. Trying to work on that change a little bit.
Outfield shading just a touch toward right center. Chris about ready to deliver pitch number 82.
Full count. Two down.
Chris Sale's pitching line is brought to you by American Sale. 4 2/3. 3 earned runs on 5 hits, 7 strikeouts, just 1 walk, and it's taken up 83 pitches to get there.
Here's Josh Reddick. Had a little seeing eye single up the middle on a breaking pitch. He's 1 for 2.
As you can see, as the innings have moved along, Chris's fastball rate has dropped down from 85 to 64.
He did go, and he gone. So a 1-2-3 inning, and we're into the 6th. 4-3 good guys. Here on CSN Chicago as Carlos Rodon takes the mound for his season debut as the first pitch to Melky Cabrera, taken for a ball. Coverage starts at 8:30 with White Sox pregame live presented by the Koalas family of dealerships. Four-three Sox. Pops it up, and it's caught.
That one almost popped out of the glove, but Valencia with the sliding grab. Good idea by Melky. He saw Valencia back at third, but not real good execution. Sox fans celebrate a special birthday or anniversary or even host a business function in a Diamond Suite at a White Sox game. Diamond Suites can accommodate groups from 10 to 100. Single game packages include great food menus as well as beverages and parking passes. To purchase, visit whitesox.com/group.
Here's Avi. He's 1 for 2. Hit a bullet single in the left field off Rodriguez. Back in the third inning. Avi, a .361 spring with 5 homers and 19 driven in.
No slider continues to be far and away his best pitch.
Outfield slightly to the right. Four, 4, and 1 for us. 3, 5, and 2. A big 2 for them. Popped up right side, playable.
And there's an example of all of that foul territory, and Canha was able to put it away. In most ballparks, Avi gets another chance. Not here.
Number 15, Brett.
See how far he's going to range to his left toward the stands, and still they're not in your picture. So there's very much of a pitcher's advantage in this park.
Well, we've said it many, many times, and for some of those fans out there who have not heard it, they always talk about the green monster at Fenway Park. That is not why it's a great hitting ballpark. It's a great hitting ballpark because there is no foul territory.
No. Andrew doesn't have to worry about the 30-second rule getting to the mound in Fenway. Here, Bob Melvin's going to have to really hustle to get to the mound.
Pops him up right side. Ready? That didn't take long. 1, 2, 3 inning. Dull has retired all 6 he's seen.
On, brought to you by Miller Lite. And here is our Miller moment. And it was before the game. Ceremonial first pitches by Trent and Chase Henderson and Jada Phillips. The family of Dave Henderson and Tony Phillips and Ricky Henderson catching the first pitches. Nice moment here at the Coliseum. Our Miller moment.
Danny Valencia will lead off here in near half of the 6th inning. Rollins has got him.
Since that leadoff double by Billy Butler in the 4th inning, Chris Sale has retired 7 straight, including 4 on strikeouts. So he's getting his rhythm. He's up near the 90 pitch mark, 89 on the way, but Chris is mixing things up a bit more than he did earlier.
Yeah, he's got that changeup going for him right now. Looks like he's just playing catch for the most part with Deanna. I like the way Deanna's keeping him in that rhythm.
Just get him the ball and let him work. John Axford, one of the additions to this ball club in the wintertime, throwing in the pen.
$35,067. And attendance.
It is a sellout, and they were tailgating profusely. Long time before the game.
That ball hit hard in the center field, but we got a man there.
Austin Jackson got a great break on this ball, was able to run it down in front of the wall, and that one of the harder hit balls of the night, but 400 to straightaway center and not real lively at night.
Well, the guy who knows him the best is Alex Avila. And talking with Alex, he said he'll amaze you out there. He said he very seldom, that's down the line, Billy Butler going, that's what he tries to do. That's why he hits Chris so well. Doesn't try to pull him. So the 2-out double, that's the second double. He had 28 of those last year.
He's been up 3 times and hit the ball very hard each and every one of those times. As he slices this one down the line. And that's going to be it for Butler. He's going to leave for a pinch runner.
Running for number 4, Coco Crisp.
And it is Coco Crisp.
Here's Canna. But Alex was talking about Austin Jackson. Says you very seldom ever see him on the ground. His reads are that good. And that's popped up. Watch out, watch out. That could have been costly right there. But they make the catch, and we'll go to the 7th.
With a White Sox checking, an official White Sox MasterCard debit card, only available at your Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Sox to learn more. Wintrust, member FDIC. And John Axford comes in the game. There you look at the totals from last year. 25 saves and 31 opportunities. Axford, longtime closer, now working out of the Oakland pen and will be ready to go in the closer role if Sean Doolittle is not healthy.
Man had 46 saves back in 2011 with the Brew Crew. 35 the next year. The 0-1 to count to Deanna, who's 0 for 2. Shoots that one foul down by the Oakland bullpen. Navarro is grounded to third and grounded to second.
Axford's ERA at 4.20 wasn't bad considering he was a member of the Colorado Rockies. That one just missed him inside.
Yeah, if you're going to pitch in that Colorado Rocky uniform in that ballpark, you're going to have some bad innings. Little three hopper.
Sox fans, join us for the opening weekend at U.S. Cellular Field. The first 20,000 fans on Saturday, April 9th, will receive a White Sox winter hat presented by Comcast Sportsnet. That's a handsome hat. Visit whitesox.com to purchase your tickets today. Probably going to come in handy, that opening series, and maybe a few series after that.
Austin takes ball one. He has walked, scored. Started off at 4 and third for us with that base on balls. And he also has fouled out to first. All right, 3-0. There's one.
That one caught the outside corner. Austin, who walked and scored in the third, looking for another one here.
First of 4 to start the season right here at the Coliseum. Sox last year 5-2 versus the A's. As a matter of fact, in the last 16 games, we are 11-5 against these guys. But to show you the shape their pitching staff is in, tomorrow for us it's going to be Jose Quintana, then Carlos Rodon, and Matt Latos. For them, it'll be to be announced, to be announced, and to be announced. He'll beat that one out.
That's going to be a base hit, but that's a play that Axford should have made because it was to his glove hand side. Most pitchers will tell you if they got to cross over their body, it'll be tough. Time now for our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it came in the third inning with Austin Jackson at first. Adam Eaton puts a charge into this one. Burns did not play it well. That was a rocket over his head. Drove in the first run of the year and the first of a 4-run inning.
Austin with 10 stolen bases last season. Watch out.
Eckford originally signed with the New York Yankees. A native of Ontario, Canada.
Trying to take that one in the left, chops it. Just tuning in, Adam led off the ball game. First pitch got hit. Then he tripled in the third, knocking in a run. He scored. He also was grounded to short. Gap out there in right center. Plenty of room between Reddick and that right field line. Long set. At the bottom of the zone.
Looked like Jackson was trying to measure his lead to see if he could get a couple of steps. Normally, the 0-2 pitch, pretty good pitch to run. Vogt has a good but not a great arm behind the plate.
Valencia backhands, a long peg, low throw. Can't get him.
Oh, good
he's
hustle.
all right. He pulled up a little gippy right there.
Good hustle by Adam Eaton. Danny Valencia did everything he could do, but couldn't get it across in time. It looked like Bob Melvin wants to see a replay of this. It looks like a pretty good call by Phil Cuzzy.
Like Adam hit the bag a little funny.
Yeah, he hit the front part of the bag.
Now batting, 7, Jimmy Rollins.
So here's the future Hall of Famer, Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy's 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. First pitch strike.
Big situation here. And again, they're going to run on Chris Davis in left field. They're going to most likely run on Billy Burns in center field, and it's going to be tough to run on Reddick in right.
Shanks that one and one hop into the seats. Oh, 0-2 the count. And this is where you got to bristle up right here. honest, with 229 home runs in his career. 465 stolen bases. Softly hit. They're going to get eaten a second. So 2 down, runners at the corners. And that'll bring up our big man, Jose Abreu. He's 1 for 2, a double, and a run scored. Here's where Jose has got to be just a little softer at the plate. They still don't want to give in to this man. Room between Canna and Lowry.
First couple of pitches, it looked like Ashford wants no part of Abreu.
Well, they're not going to get into it. I mean, I don't care who's on deck. They're not going to get into it. Yeah, if he wants to get himself out, that's another story.
There's an example of Axford missing his spot by a good 1.5 feet and getting away with it. Vogt wanted the fastball inside. Look where he's sitting. He wants it inside. Axford throws it outside and catches the outside corner.
Well, the one thing Vogt didn't want right there on the 2-0 was a strike. Oh, for him to throw one. Now Axford back in the count at 2-2. There's Tide on deck. Shoots that one up into the seats. There's a lot of space out there. Four 8-1 for our guys. 3-6-2 for their guys if you're just joining us.
Axford, the 4th Oakland pitcher tonight. Chris Sale has gone all the way with no activity in the bullpen. Well, Axford has got a game plan. At least he came in with one, and that is throw everything upstairs to Abreu, because this entire at bat has been thrown just about letter high.
Jose has done a good job fighting 2 pitches off in this at bat. Upset with himself right there. That was the best pitch he's seen.
Yeah, Axford got one a little lower than he wanted. And Jose able to foul it straight back.
Yeah, that's
very hittable at 95.
That's the danger zone right there. And a full count.
Well, you would expect that Canha would be behind Rollins at first base. He's pointing in the dugout to see where they would like him, and he's going to get a better angle on anything shot through the right side.
So the payoff pitch to Abreu. You see how that ball was well off the plate. He saw so many of those in the last 2 years and really did a great job hitting a lot of them hard.
I'm not sure he fouled this one off because this is a good 5-6 inches off the outside corner, but run producers want to drive home base runners.
And he's got great plate coverage.
Yeah. 10th pitch of a well contested at bat, and the bullpen up and going for Oakland again. Liam Hendricks, another man acquired in the offseason. You might remember Liam from his days with the Minnesota Twins. That's who brought him to the major leagues.
An Aussie.
Yep.
They want it in. He gets it in. On the fist, pops it up. So Axford wins the battle right there with Abreu. 7th inning stretch. It is 4-3 White Sox. Join our own Chuck Garfine and Bill Melton for a recap of tonight's action, plus game highlights, clubhouse reaction, and a look ahead on Subaru White Sox postgame live on CSN Chicago.
But Chris Sale's still around. And even though the pitches are piling up, he certainly wants to be out there because Don Cooper has asked him how he's doing. He says he's doing fine, but the bullpen up and going. All the runs in this game scored in 1 inning. That was the 3rd. Zach Duke joining Jake Petrichka. And Ryan Madsen up in the pen for Oakland.
It'll be Vogt, Simeon, Burns. We have 6 hits. We had 4 of them in that 3rd inning. 2 last inning. They have 6 hits, 4 of them in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and 1 in the 6th. So here's Vogt. Had that little soft infield single. Coming with 1 out to start off the 3-run 3rd. Check that. Yeah, the 3-run 3rd for the A's.
Well, good play by Abreu as he went down the line. Stopped what would have been a 2-base hit. That was a big effort as Vogt pulls the ball. And Jose right there. Boy, that's a tough hop.
Well, he made it the way he was supposed to make it. Down. If he tries to stay up, good chance that ball's going to go off his glove. So here's Simeon. Marcus has walked, scored, and he's grounded to second. Checking some other scores for you. Baltimore beat Minnesota 3-2 at Camden Yards. Cubs leading the Angels 6-0. That's in the bottom of the 7th. It's high in the left field. 2 down. Giants thumped DeBrucco 12-3 at Miller Park. Texas beats Seattle 3-2. Texas 3 runs on 1 hit.
That's pretty amazing.
Reds beat the Phillies 6-2 at the Great American Ballpark. Washington and 10 beat Atlanta 4-3. Down in Georgia, 15-0 Dodgers over San Diego. Toronto beat Tampa Bay 5-3. Down in Florida.
.100 pitches with the trouble spot in the 3rd. 34 big pitches that inning.
There's a little looper, and center field's going to fall for a base hit. So good speed aboard. 26 stolen bases last year.
Now batting second baseman, number 8, Jed Lowry.
So here's Jed Lowry. He's 1 for 3. Had that big 2-run single and scored a run back in the 3rd.
Jed Lowry came in to talk to Chris Sale on how he's going to work Lowry. The reason being that one of them is going to have to cover on a stolen base, and depending on how he's going to pitch him, that will determine who's going to cover. You can always get an aggressive base runner, and those are the guys you pick off.
Count evens at 1. Paxton, a few steps deeper in center field, as is Melky and left. Burns just a decent lead. There he goes. Now they're going to get him at first. He go. Nice. Nice by Deoner. And that'll retire the side. It is 4-3 White Sox.
Out to be one of the biggest plays of the game as Burns takes off, realizing he can't make it, and by the time he starts to head back, Yanni Navarro picks him off.
Well, that's just bad base running right there.
See the White Sox take on the Rangers on Friday, April 22nd at 7:10. The first 20,000 fans in attendance will receive a White Sox tote bag presented by the MLB Network. Be sure to stay after the game for a post-game fireworks show presented by the aforementioned MLB Network. Purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX game as Ryan Madsen gets ready.
And first pitch to Todd Frazier, slammed right to Valencia at third. So one pitch, one out. Yeah, and that's just bad base running and a good play by Deoner to make them pay.
There you look at the numbers. Last year, Madsen, a great year, 2.13 ERA. Only 47 hits in 63 in the third innings. He missed 3 years due to injury. Had Tommy John surgery in 2012. Didn't come back till 2015.
Well, when he first came up, he was for the most part a flamethrower.
Yep. And came back. What a remarkable recovery it was from the posted numbers he posted last year.
Had him way off balance right there.
That's in a part of that very good Kansas City bullpen. 68 appearances in the 2.13 ERA. He fit in nicely.
Well, at Kansas City club, until somebody beats them, they're still the favorites. When you come within one out of winning 2 consecutive world championships.
Well, they play defense. You mentioned that they put the bat on the ball with the best in baseball.
They're the best.
Yep.
When you strike out 200 times fewer than any other team in baseball, you can say we're the best.
And that defense all the way around.
And that bullpen
is terrific. Yeah, the bullpen has been great for quite some time.
Ball's line to Marcus. So it's 2 line shots. Meanwhile, right at him.
Rich Hill started the game, went 2 1/3, gave up 4 runs, only 2 of them earned, and then the bullpen with Rodriguez, Dahl, Axford, and now Madsen has been pretty close to untouchable. 3 hits, no runs combined. And that was the real bad spot for Oakland last year.
So here's Avi. Avi 1 for 3 with a smash single. Takes first pitch strike.
Chris Sale has had a big bounce back game after a very tough 3rd inning.
That's into right field. Josh Reddick's got to beat the ball, and a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th, leading by 1.
Now, Chris had some problems early, but then settled down. Changeup came to him a little bit later. The slider did also. Good slider to vote. Throws it by Lowry. And Chris Sale went a solid 7 innings before turning it over to Jake Petrichka. There you look at the numbers from last year. And he was a pretty busy man and effective most of the time with a 3.63 ERA.
Reddick on deck. Valencia in the hole here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 4-6-1 for us. 3-7-2 for them. There's a strike. Good pitch, didn't get it. Three and one. Zach Duke is ready down in that pen. And here comes Robin. So he walks the leadoff man in this 1-1 ball game. He departs. Duke comes on, and we'll be back.
Exclusive ticket offers and seating locations all season long. Game day opportunities, club auctions, ballpark tours, membership gifts, and more. Visit SoxPrideClub.com and join today. So Zach Duke comes into the game. Face a tough left-hand hitter in Josh Reddick. Last year 3-6 with a fine 3.41 ERA with 66 strikeouts. And left-handers hit just a paltry 181 against him.
So lead man aboard. Reddick, dangerous. Dangerous man at that plate.
Boy, he fouled that one off before it hit him. As Zach dropped down sidearm, and that ball moving inside on Reddick, chasing him out of there.
So we catch a break right there. Here's the bunt. And it's going foul. Yes.
Boy, good decision as Todd Frazier recognized the spin on the ball. Would have been a very difficult play. Probably would have been a base hit.
Yeah, but he's not going to get it.
No, he saw the spin on it and realized that it was going to go foul.
Meanwhile, the count 0-2. Tries to get him to bite. No dice. Little nubber. So he gets the man over. 1 out. And here comes Robin Valencia, the right-handed hitter.
Nate Jones called into the ball game, so Zach Duke will step out. Nate Jones will come in. We'll step out and be back after these messages. Follow White Sox baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCasts, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet. So Nate Jones comes in with a tying run at second base. And there you look at the numbers. He can be overwhelming. Having some injury problems last year, having a very good spring, as most of the bullpen did.
So here's Valencia, 1 for 3. Had an RBI single back in the 3rd inning. Those leadoff walks will get you in a lot of problems. Chris Davis on deck. And Coco Crisp in the hole. There's a strike. One at 98. Pops him up right side. Adamy. 2 down. That's what's called being just a little tardy.
Oh, you can be real tardy at 98, 99.
Let me tell you something. When Nate Jones is healthy, he's one of the toughest right-handers in this league.
An unusual motion, plenty of life on both the fastball and a almost unhittable slider.
From a hitting standpoint, right-handed hitters, this is just not any fun facing him.
Jimmy Rollins wants to know how they're going to work Davis, whether he should play him a step to pull or straight away.
Chris is 0 for 3, a couple strikeouts and the deep drive to center field. And here he turns it loose. Who does he remind you? Well, you're a little young to go back around.
Jimmy Wynn?
Yes.
I'm not that young. I remember the toy cannon.
Jimmy Wynn. He's bigger than Jimmy, even though he's a small guy. Jimmy was only 5'5". Toy cannon was 5'5". He could hit it 500 feet.
Oh, he could hit it 8 miles.
Close.
Ran it up there at 99.
But it's the motion.
Yeah, it's a most unusual motion. I don't think I've seen anything quite like it. Looks almost like he was a catcher at one point in his career.
He gone. What a job by the Nate Meister. And we're into the 9th, leading 4-3.
Having a hard time staying healthy much of last year, but he's hard to pick up. When he is healthy, he's awfully tough. And an insurance run would look very good right about here.
So here's Brett. Starts it off with a base hit. So good speed aboard.
This week only, T-Mobile customers can get a free season-long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now and catch every moment on America's fastest-growing LTE network.
Now batting, number 27, Leonard Navarro.
Boy, I'm just saying, because this is an observation, that Lowry base hit could be the biggest hit of the game.
I guess some things never change.
No, just saying. I mean, you know, you never know what's going to happen with.
No. Well, there's a situation right there. We get a break. If he lets that ball hit the ground, they got a double play.
Yep.
Now batting, number 10.
All you got to do is go to the line to make sure it doesn't kick right. Let it hit the ground. They got 2. So here's Austin. Austin has walked, scored, fouled out to first, and had an infield single. It's amazing how many major league teams don't know that.
No protection. You get no protection.
No protection on a bunt. You got protection on a pop-up, but no protection on a bunt. The runner. In my time zone and your time zone, you guys worked on that.
Well, it's an easy way to get you out of an inning.
Exactly. And our guys worked on it all the time. There's a strike. I've talked to a lot of different managers about that, and they say, well, you know, I don't want the ball hitting the ground and having a pitcher or somebody trying to make a play. Well, this is the major leagues.
They should be able to make that one especially.
Boy, good motion. Had him way out in front. Two and two. Doolittle's got good mound presence. Another one way out in front. That good changeup. 2 down.
Two changeups in the at-bat as Austin Jackson way out in front of it. Doolittle, who went to the University of Virginia and was quite a hitter. He was their RBI leader, the school's career RBI leader when he left school.
Adam is 2 for 3, a triple, a single, and a run scored. There he goes. And he got him. Now, Robin. They're going to look at it, I believe. Robin wants a review on it.
Well, right now he's got nothing to lose by taking a look at it.
From where we were, it looked like he may have slid past, get off the bag, because it looked like he beat the throw. But we can't see because of the no, he got him. He just never put his foot. If he puts his foot on the bag, he's safe. All in all, that's not a bad play anyway. Left-handed hitter up there. Doolittle's not going to go another inning.
No, and you see the foot went up over the bag.
Yeah.
And then the tag came on. So.
Yeah, if he goes in with his foot, he beats the throw. And you got your leadoff hitter leading off if they tie it up. All right. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth, leading 4-3.
Time last year, 34 saves and 41 appearances. ERA 3.41 overall. He's going to face the bottom part of the order, but a very fast man leading it off in Coco Crisp. And most likely it'll be Mark Canha who will leave the ball game in favor of pinch hitter. Left-handed first baseman Yonder Alonso will most likely hit for Canha.
So here we go. The guy who has been a thorn in our side for a long time, Coco Crisp, takes first pitch strike.
He came out of pinch run for Billy Butler, who hit the ball hard 3 times, producing a couple of doubles.
And a count 0-2. Well, in this lineup, even today, Billy Butler is a man you do not want to beat you. He's the most dangerous guy in this lineup. If you're just joining us, we scored 4 in the top of the third. They scored 3 in the bottom of the third. And that has been it. 4-7-1 for us. 3-7-2. A big 2 for them. Take him right here, Robbie. You don't want to go full. Three balls, 2 strikes. Chris Coughlin.
Attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, for the Athletics, batting for Canada, number 3, Chris Coughlin.
Chris Coughlin last year with the Cubs had a good season for him.
He had a very good season considering he didn't play all that often. He came through with some big hits and hit 16 homers.
First pitch strike. Caught a bit of a break right there. Almost a blueprint, and the count 0-2. Yes! Big on.
3 pitches in the exact same spot, but each and every one got better with the location. The first one was questionable. The last 2 were right there, and this one, the best of the bunch. And Coughlin couldn't pull the trigger on any of them.
That's where a guy makes 3 pitches on you that you can't hit. That doesn't happen very often. So here's Vogt. 1 for 3 with a run scored. Had that infield single.
Vander and Alonso in the on-deck circle.
Decent lead by Coco. That's softly into right field. Two down. So Alonso to hit for Marcus Semien. And if you're just tuning in, Sonny Gray was supposed to start this game for Oakland. Came up with some food poisoning, and we understand Bob Melvin said he probably will start tomorrow night.
There's a look at the first-round draft pick of the Cincinnati Reds the same year that we drafted Gordon Beckham.
Get over there. Yes, and this ball game is over. So the Sox hold on as Chris Sale went 7 innings, giving up those 3 runs, and they win the opener 4-3. And I'll tell you what, let's check out our player of the game.
Chris Sale is our player of the game, and 7 innings, struck out 8, walked only 1, gave up 7 hits, the 3 earned runs, all coming in the 3rd inning. And that's when he walked the only man he was to walk all night long. That was Marcus Semien. So after the 3rd, a great bounce back by Chris Sale, giving up just 3 hits the rest of the way, and he got Robin into a situation that he wanted to get into, which was leave him 6 outs to cover.